And now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
What is it about going to Pittsburgh in the last game of the season and still looks like crap for the Cleveland Browns? I promise I'm going to try to not get mad, to not yell tonight, to keep things in reality, keep things in perspective as much as possible. I'm someone that was conflicted with my fandom before this season even started. I think what I said to start the show says a lot about where my fandom truly lies. We will talk a little bit about that confliction as we review the season later on in the show. But look, the Browns lost in Pittsburgh again, and I think it's only fitting that this show made New Year's resolutions, as this is the first show for the Voice of Land in 2023. We made New Year's resolutions to try to finish in an hour and to try to finish each segment in about 14 minutes so we can get to our commercial breaks. Of course, Voice of Land brought to you by Vector Technical. You'll hear more about them in the commercial breaks, but they will get the right person in the right job the first time. But it's only right to jump right in. And as the big voice guy, Bob in Millersburg, said to start the show, he said names like Always Positive Jay and Kevin Arnold. If you're wondering, you're new to the show, I am Kevin Arnold. You can follow me at Kevin7. He is Always Positive Jay. I don't know how much positivity. I've said that so many times open shows now.
It's the Browns' fault. It's the Browns' fault.
It is the revolving door.
The Sunday fun suckers, and I've said it right every time so far, thank God.
Because we are not that type of show.
No, we're not.
We are not that type of show. The name you don't hear is our AI system, our artificial intelligence. What Jarvis was to Iron Man, Audio is to the Voice of Land. He is Peter Tellep. And of course, we are partnered with LPV Productions, but we are the Browns post-game show. So first show of 2023, but final Browns post-game show for the Big Play Network right here on the Voice of the Land. Final post-game show of the 2022 season mercifully comes to an end. Let's just start.
Thank God it is over. I'm
Yes.
not going to lie. I normally hate the end of the season. I'm so glad it's over. I can't take no more of this no more. And we didn't even get the fun beginning with everything that happened. Like normally in our off seasons, our fun season. We didn't even have that. And then
some people did. We're going to talk about that. Like I mentioned, I think a lot of us,
some people did, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? There was the turmoil, the split in the fandom, obviously. And this season, it just sucked. You know, basically to sum it up real quick, it just sucked.
Yeah, it did. And if you need to vent, you need to just start typing comments or what you felt about today. You haven't had a chance with all the other post-game shows, all the other Cleveland-based podcasts, because I know that some people get annoyed how many Cleveland sports-based podcasts there are. We try to be a little bit different. We try to keep things in perspective. We're not going to yell at you all the time. If we do, you can tell it's just from pure passion and love of Cleveland sports. So we try to give you something different. If we're not for you, we definitely understand. But anybody tuning in right now, thank you so much. At VTL_pod on Twitter, Voice of Land on Facebook, Big Play Facebook, and YouTube, all of that jazz. You'll see that all throughout the show. We'll talk about that as we go along. Jay, it's mind-numbing that we're here again. And the worst part is there's not as many avenues to fix this because you don't have your first round pick. And you
know the only good thing about not having our first round pick is I didn't have to hear anybody go, we should lose so we have a higher draft pick. I hate that. It drives me nuts. But now that it's over, it's like, now we ain't got no first round pick. I don't have to worry about that anyways.
And I guess my
silver lining's gone.
Well, I guess if you're going to talk about a silver lining, the silver lining is that Pittsburgh beat our ass and they still don't make the playoffs. But I'm kind of sick and tired of moral victories.
That's not a moral victory for us at all.
No
whatsoever, dude.
It would have been if we would have won this game and been the ones to officially knock them out and not have the crap show that was the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. 11-6, guys.
Thank God I didn't watch that.
If I was a gambling man, I'll tell
Miami
you this
Marlins,
much.
man. The Miami Marlins are on their way up 11-6 over those vaunted New York Mets or Yankees, whichever direction you want to go there.
I'll tell you this much. If I was a gambling man, and I'm not, I would have bet against the Browns the second that Davian Clowney news came out. First off, screw you, dude. You're going to bring that up right before Pittsburgh. You heard my call. You took it on ESPN radio. And how the hell are you going to do that right before the Pittsburgh game? You have no clue what it means to be a Cleveland Brown if you're going to pull that crap before the Pittsburgh game. And what bothered me is he ain't the only one. He may have said it, but he ain't the only one probably thinking what he said.
We can only hope that he is.
I mean,
we can only hope that he's the exception to the rule, and that the fact that most of the coaching staff is safe except for the defensive coordinator, who everyone's expecting to be fired. Like, it would be the totally Browns thing to do to keep everybody, more so than to actually make change. And we were talking before the show, Jay, and you said you don't like to call for people's jobs. And that's,
yeah, like I said, I just like I'll refer to it as we need change.
Yeah.
I just don't like to call, that's me.
And I gave you a little smirk.
Yeah.
And
Peter, I kind of been wondering what you're going to say.
Peter caught it too. It's kind of joking around. Like, I don't feel comfortable calling for someone's job either. We do it very openly with professional sports. Like, that's the name of the business. It's what have you done for me lately? If not any other sport, then the NFL in the National Football League. It's not for long. We do that very openly. We're not doing that to each other if you're a teacher, you work in a factory, you work in, wherever you do. I mean, Peter works in technology and in media. We're trying to work in media. Like, we don't talk about that kind of stuff, about people's jobs like that, just everyday people. So it makes me feel uncomfortable because I would never do that to like a normal human being. And these are still human beings. So you're right. It is asking for change. Guys, I got to be honest. I don't know how you bring any of this back just because it's gotten progressively worse. People want to throw flowers and still want to throw flowers at Coach Stefanski because he got the best out of Baker Mayfield. Well, if he can do that with that kind of quarterback, what's he going to do with Deshaun Watson? I mean, first 6 games, I'm not going to make a full judgment on it, but not the greatest.
I mean, it was a 6-game in, and he got outplayed by a rookie quarterback.
After coming off of a hot streak against a pretty good defense in Washington the previous week. Couldn't carry that over. And these are the type of games you're going to need to win. The Browns had 3 things on the line today. Playoffs were not one of them, but you had a chance to give Mike Tomlin his first losing season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you do that? Nope. You had a chance to knock the Steelers out of the playoffs. Be the reason they were knocked out. Did you do that? No. You had a chance to sweep the Steelers in a season for the first time since 1988. You want to talk about momentum going into an offseason and the next season where you expect to take a huge jump because you have your $230 million quarterback, fully guaranteed quarterback, going through a regular offseason program under this coaching staff, under this offense. He's worked out some of the rust. Now he can just focus on getting prepared as he would normally do from season to season. You thought you were going to take a jump. You could have built momentum and sent a message. You could have gone 4-2. Actually, there was 4 things. So you didn't accomplish sweeping the Steelers. You could have gone 4-2 in the division. I believe that would have been tied for, if not the best division record in the AFC North. Did you do that?
Nope.
No. You came out and did the same exact stuff. Where have you guys, Peter, where have you seen this before? Oh, George Pickens going wide open on a busted coverage for a touchdown. Where have you seen that before?
I've seen that all season long with this team.
And you've seen it in past seasons when they've been among the worst in the league, correct?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the most frustrating thing is the defense. Going into the season, we were hanging our hats on how great this defense is going to be. And and I think that's why, I think that's why people are calling for Joe Woods' job, and I agree with you. I don't, I get frustrated. I think we need change. I don't like calling for anyone's job. I wouldn't want someone to call for my job. But I was thinking about this, and I kind of look at it as like every job you have, KPIs, right? You got to have their key performance indexes you have to meet.
Yep.
You have to meet your quotas to keep your job, and the way I look at it right now is I think all the fans we're like shareholders in this team, because we're the ones paying the money for the merchandise, paying the money for, the tickets, paying them, we're watching them on TV. We're the ones that generate the revenue for this team.
So are we the ones that need to change?
No, I don't think we're the ones that need to change, but I understand.
Just need to change how we do it, because we glowingly and willingly just continue to throw the money at them and then endure this crap.
No,
nightmare.
I just think that it kind of justifies fans calling for the jobs, right? Because we are in, kind of like that shareholder.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's where I was going with it. But I don't think we need to change, but we need to demand more.
We need to be heard more.
We need to be heard more.
I mean, we did a parade around the stadium.
Maybe
what else really can we do?
Maybe we need to do a parade outside.
I don't think there's anything we can do.
Yeah.
If we don't go to the games, we'll just move the damn team. There's not we're in limbo. There's nothing we can do. We have the only thing that we can control in this game is when we're in there at home and if we cheer loud when we're supposed to. Other than that, fans ain't done nothing wrong. They can't do right. There's nothing you can do. It's on the players, it's on the coaches, and it's mostly on the owner.
And where is Paul DePodesta?
That dude's a bum. Okay.
like
I don't want to call for someone's job. But you gotta go, man.
But
you made too much. You're so rich. I don't care. You gotta go. I just totally went against what I said I wasn't gonna do. As soon as you brought him up, I instantly was so mad. I was like, that guy, he's still here. He has done nothing right.
Peter, people can't see our before show meetings and in between breaks and at post show meetings. Before the show, we talked about how we don't give out hot takes and get like these reactions. Yeah. It took me 2 words to get that out of Jay.
I know. I spoke too soon, I guess.
Feel my face is red, dude. I'm so mad. I was like, that guy.
But seriously, where is he? I know that there were reports about him being the one that's driving this offensive play calling, where they're going more pass heavy than run heavy, when your offense should be geared towards the run with the type of running backs and talent and different dynamics you have in that running back room. But we never see him. He's in California all the time.
Here's what drives me nuts, dude. And I don't want to use
speak on it.
Analytics are great. They're a great tool. But football is such an emotional sport that they don't account for momentum. When you miss field goals, they're like, I want 7. No, you need this 3, because when you don't get the 7, the other team's got crazy. Do you know why the emotion is so important? That's why they didn't finish that game when thank God he's doing better with Hanlon.
Correct.
Because you can't play anymore. Your emotions are so out of whack. They couldn't finish. And that's where I
couldn't even imagine.
Could you imagine what the analytics would have said? They'd be like, you're supposed to be an emotionalist machine that goes and plays.
You're supposed to be audio. You're supposed to be an AI.
There's only one audio, all right? We don't know where he is ever, but there's one.
And there's a reason why we put audio into a humanoid form, because he needed to show emotion.
Yes.
It's an emotional game. And so this is Paul DePodesta, there needs to be a change there. If we're not going to specifically call for people's jobs,
if that dude's calling what kind of plays we're doing and stuff, that is ridiculous. I feel bad for you, Stefanski, if that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was a way that we could call for change of ownership, but that's not going to happen. That'd be a redundant conversation to even try to even have on the show. But Paul DePodesta, don't know what he does. The whole Moneyball thing that works in baseball, because baseball is driven by analytics. Analytics is not just a tool in baseball.
I don't remember the Athletics winning any World Series either.
I understand, but there was a little bit more success with it than there has been here.
But there's also, 162 games in baseball.
Exactly.
So those changes with like the Moneyball stuff or those analytics, you have a much bigger, sample that you can see those things kind of tweak through. So
Series upside.
Series even
mad.
Oh my god! What is
See,
happening?
Baseball is it's a number sport. It's always been about numbers. That's why records are so important in baseball more than any other record. But
and where do you guys think that launch angle and all of these new metrics come from? It was built from the analytic culture. Now, I could actually argue that analytics has also been bad for Siri. You need to stop talking right now and interrupting me because I'm trying to make a point. I could argue that analytics has even done damage to the game of baseball because now you got guys just going up there to either hit a home run or they're striking out a lot.
Right.
The Guardians are the exact opposite of what baseball
Guardians are actually probably one of the leading users of analytics. They're using it the right way in a different way.
But how analytics has got misconstrued has ruined that. Analytics should only be just a tool in the rest of the sports, especially in the NFL. You need football minds. You need to make football decisions. So, yeah, I would love to make a change with Paul DePodesta. Honestly, I'd love to make a change with Coach Kevin Stefanski because it's not about his offensive mind and how genius that is. It's about those little moments where he needs to be a leader of men. It's the leadership that they put in place in terms of players. Players need to take more ownership. But Coach Stefanski is the head coach. He is supposed to be the CEO of the football kind of operation when you get into game mode. And he makes stupid decisions. And I can't believe that that's Paul DePodesta's.
I'm saying, like, is he being like, all right, like, I need you to go for it here. All right, I'll figure out the play to go for it here. Is he being like told kind of what to do?
Just remember, we got to be better. I got to be better, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he takes the blame.
Hey, Coach Kev on the show. I got to be better. We're already 17 minutes in. We already failed on one of our resolutions, but we'll talk more about this on the other side of the break. I want to keep this conversation going because I think that this we've already transitioned into the postseason conversation, the after season reaction. So we'll continue this conversation on the other side of the break. If you have comments, leave them. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, leave them. We'll try to get to as much as we can. Just as one example, I swear this isn't favoritism, but Jana Arnold, actually, but she still has at Jana Fenstermaker on Twitter. My wife, doctor of the show, she says, to be honest, we should have been looking for a new defensive coordinator after last season. True. That's absolutely true. And
he pulled the Eric Mangini and did good the last 4 games to save his job, just to torture us again for the next season.
Yes, and was doing and if they would have won today, he was almost kind of on that same track again. And boy, I couldn't run that back again. How many yards are going to give up in the run game again when you know Najee Harris is going to get the ball with a rookie quarterback? Oh, he's still beating you. I don't know. Maybe that's typical football stuff you should have worked on in practice. Also want to mention our boys over at the Illegal Hand to the Face podcast. They said that they're loving this, so they're loving this rant. So I'm sure
I think they like my face getting red.
Yes, I think they like that too. So we'll read your comments. We'll also go over to Facebook and check that out as well. If you're watching on one of those live streams, try to look into YouTube. But we have more access to Facebook and Twitter. So continue this conversation about the Browns after the break. But first, a word from our grateful partners that we are grateful to at Vector Technical, who will get the right person in the right job the first time. You are watching The Voice of Land, your Browns post-game show on the Big Play Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
You got to be real, people. You got to be real. If you don't know what we're talking about, you got to get the subscription service. Oh, that's right. We don't have one. Sorry. You won't get the behind the scenes just yet. I don't know if that's coming down.
I don't know if we want
I don't
that.
think that we want
I'm not even
that.
going to tease a phone line anymore either because it's just technology. I don't know. It's even if it's even above an AI system, I can't be teasing that, right? Audio, right? Wherever you are.
We can get it, but we need to talk about how we're going to actually implement it.
Okay.
Because you guys will probably have to run it is the trick.
Oh,
so
well, I mean, I kind of do that now, and
yeah, so it'll probably actually won't be that different than some of the stuff you're doing right now.
Okay, well,
Can you imagine if we took calls? Like our swear rule, you like right out the window with the callers.
yeah, we don't got a dump button.
No,
we don't have a dump
We'll
button.
just be like, all right, and the next caller.
You know what?
Thank you very much.
You know what? This team. Nope. Bye.
Just as soon as they pick up the phone, be like, "What's your thoughts on Paul D. Podesta?"
I already know that, like the first time. That would have been you if I would have said that, and you would have been on the phone and not on the show right now. Boy, that was great. We'll try to get. I got to be better at getting the clips up. Guys.
Yeah.
I got to be better. If there's somebody out there,
we're so bad at promoting our own show.
If there's somebody out there that just wants to help us with social media and posting our clips throughout the week, because I am so sorry to Vector. I'm being dead serious right now. Like, I am so sorry to Vector. And to be this open when you have that kind of thing in place, like we try to do as much as we can.
You're a little busy.
A little bit, just a little bit. I know that if we do a phone line here, first thing I'm going to do is, well, voice of the land. What's your name? Where are you calling from? But it's not going to be voice of the land. That's not what I'm going to say. No names, please.
Yeah, I know what you're going to do.
No name.
Well, going back to our comments here, Jared over illegal ham to the face said, "Can't dump enough for this guy." So
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? We did go to break talking about the Browns, and we were going to like break down the game and everything. There's no point in breaking down the game.
I don't want to break that crap down, dude. That was boring.
The only way you break it down is if they actually would have won and been the team that actually knocked them out, because the Steelers had a chance going into this game. The Steelers had a chance at the playoffs. They had to win and not just win, but win and.
They at least took care of their half. We didn't. I kind of was thinking about too as break, and we were mad at Paul D. Podesta or whatever. It's Jimmy Haslam's fault putting that guy in that kind of position. He's our biggest problem with the Browns is Jimmy Haslam. He puts the wrong people in positions of power.
Why are the Cavs and the Guardians so successful?
Because you know what Dan does? Writes a check and goes, whatever you need to do what you got to do. And gets out of the way.
And as much as the Dolans do the exact opposite in terms of money.
Yeah. They put the exact right people in place to do what little they can do it.
They know what they are good at and what they aren't. And what they aren't good at is a lot. What they are good at is very little. Sorry to take a shot there. Everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of the Dolans, but I have to give credit where credit is due. They put the right people in place. That is one of the best run organizations in all of professional sports, probably the best run organization in professional baseball. They don't win championships a lot because of the money discrepancy that will always be in baseball unless a salary cap would come down, and that will happen only when.
What do those two teams have that this team does not have? The most important thing.
A culture.
Why did can you tell me again, Peter, what you told us earlier? What beat the Browns today?
A superior culture.
Yes.
That's it. You want stats? There's your stat for you right there, buddy.
And it's exactly why I said before the season that everybody that was all saying that Pittsburgh was dead and we were going to run the table with them, even with Jacoby Brissett as our quarterback going into this season. It
wasn't his fault.
No.
He did beyond better than he's supposed to.
No, I don't want to make it sound like that. Mm-hmm. But everybody in Cleveland that just puts these blinders on, and I get it because we're fans. It's short for fanatic. I've done it in the past too. I'm trying to see things more clearly, not for my career. It just makes me feel better when I'm able to kind of, be mad about a loss, but get through it a lot faster because I'm seeing things clearly, or at least trying to take better perspective, look introspectively at what is actually going on. And when I do that, it helps. And when I look at this, a lot of fans were saying that the Steelers were dead. I was saying their culture is well established. They have not had a losing season and still have not had a losing season under Coach Mike Tomlin. They've had 3 coaches in the
14
span of
years? I think
15.
It's like 15
it is
or
now
14.
15.
Can we get 2? Can I get 2 winning seasons in a row? I haven't seen it since 99. We had 2 winning seasons in a row since 99.
And the people,
I'm going to guess no.
The people that don't want to talk about, and I'm not saying that he will be gone or that I'm calling for his job. And not even because I don't feel comfortable with it, but the people that are saying that Coach Stefanski should stay and are, standing, or they're Stefanski stands, I guess they would be, if going off the Baker bro thing. Those types of people that are not criticizing him or looking at it, he's gotten worse year after year, from year to year to year now. They were 11-5. I know it was COVID, and I know everything that happened. I know he had Baker as quarterback that was the wrong side of Baker last year, and they went 8-9. And yeah, Jacoby Brissett, he's a glorified backup. All the excuses. Coach Stefanski's the best coach.
They had scoring 20-something points a game, and they're losing, not one because their defense was underperforming.
That Jets loss, I think, sums up the whole season.
Yes. And they're also losing because of coaching mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what there are so many critical spots that he made terrible mistakes all season long. Yeah, he calls great plays from the 20 to the 20. Then he gets into the red zone and forgets about Nick Chubb, throws it 3 times, goes for it on 4th and 3, misses it. The other team goes down and score a touchdown. It's a 14-point swing. And everyone's like, but, he scored 20-something points in the game. He's a good coach. It's because he's the best coach we've ever had because we had crap beforehand.
That's the point I want to make. He's the best coach we've had since 1999. Since trash, he is the best thing that we had. Guess what? The same people that were saying you can't say that about Baker because he's just better than crap that we've had are now saying that about Coach Stefanski. Just because he's better than what we've had doesn't mean he's the answer to take you to where you should be going. Football was invented an hour down the road, an hour south of Cleveland. This is football. This area of the country is football. And your team gives you crap after crap after crap after crap. And when you get just a little bit better than crap, you want to hold on to that because you fear of going back to the full crap. You've taken steps forward, yes, but now those steps forward are starting to take you backwards. Change needs to happen.
When you say change, here's where I'm going to go with this. Either Stefanski, you have to change, you have to grow, or the position has to be changed for someone else. There has to be change. How it happens, I don't care. But like you said, change has to happen. Stefanski, your philosophy has to change, or whoever's making you do things has to change how they're going to make you do things. I don't know what weird stuff you got going on over there, but yes, change has to happen. Here's the thing what bothers me about this team, and it's been bothering me for a while, is they don't know what it means. Like you said, football is invented here. There's so much history here. And I don't think anyone has ever, if I'm in charge of the team, the first thing I'm doing before the training camp and everything, I'm making sure that those players know what it means to play for this city. Because, dude, there's no better fan base. There is, is there equal? Sure. I'm sure the Bills fan base are equal, but you ain't got no better fan base than the Cleveland Browns fan base. And what it means to this city, they have no idea. They don't know the history. There's players that don't even know why the damn Browns are called the Browns. That's ridiculous to me. You should really know what it means to play for the Cleveland Browns, and I don't think these players do. And Clowney proved it to me.
So Jared keeps commenting on our Facebook at Voice of the Land. Hit like on the Facebook page there. He's kind of hitting us from Twitter and Facebook right now.
It's coming from everywhere.
But Peter had mentioned the can't dump enough for this guy. He did say check Jay's blood pressure before that. But he did. Jared goes on to say, here, I will break it down. Peter Tellep, I need a turd in a toilet flush sounder. We had to take a step above to upgrade the QB position. I think and I believe he is referring to he as Coach Stefanski's average, and we need to take another step.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't just because, again, you get a little bit better than crap or trash, doesn't mean you hold on to it. I'm sure, and this is going to be a weird analogy, but I'm sure you guys have things around your house that's like, not sure if I want to get rid of this because it's kind of worked for me, whatever it is, or it's like, it's something I want to hold on to a little bit longer, but I don't have as much of a connection to it. I don't know if I want to get rid of it or not. So you hold on to it, and then you get another thing like that and another thing like that. Then you start to feel like a hoarder, like you got too much stuff. You start to feel claustrophobic. You start to feel like the weight is coming down on you because you got too much of this just better than crap stuff around you, but you don't know if you actually need it and can make space for one thing that's a little bit better that could do all of those things for you. I've been going through that. We've been donating a lot of stuff out of the apartment recently because there's stuff I'm looking at it like, why did I hold on to this? I'm not saying Coastal Fantasy is going to be gone, but play calling. Why are we holding on to him being the play caller when he isn't able to manage every other element that a head coach is supposed to manage?
That's why I said change could happen.
Change could happen. Defensive coordinator does just enough in a few games to make you think you got a little bit better than crap, and you keep holding on to it. Well, why are we holding on to it? Because the same thing that you saw in game 1 is the same thing you saw in game 17. Busted coverages in the secondary, not able to stop the run. You're supposed to improve as the season goes on. Did this team improve as the season went on defensively with a defense that came back? There wasn't the issues of having the leader suspended for 11 games or that nice shiny new toy suspended for 11 games.
Had great games. What great offense have they shut down outside that Bengals game?
None that stand out to me. None that I can answer right off the top of my head.
I feel like dude, Joe Flacco beat us. Joe Flacco beat us.
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, Joe.
I'm sorry to bring that up.
Joe Flacco beat you. Marcus Mariota beat you.
Who's the backup in New England?
I don't know. The backup is in New England.
It was whoever they're like third string quarterback beat us.
Oh, Zappy.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappy beat you, dude. Like, no, man.
Tiny Hands Kenny Pickett beat you.
Carney Hands beat me.
Dude.
I already hate him as much as I do Ben Roethlisberger. Like, I can't stand him.
And I don't know why. Like, I like the new helmet concept in the NFL where it's like the visors built in. Like, you guys have seen those new helmets for some reason, and it's probably just because it's Pitts puke. Because I can't say the other name that I call the Steelers right now, because that's not this type of this show is not that type of show. But it's probably because it has the colors of Pitts puke on it. But that helmet, I don't know. I just wanted to. It just made me hate him even more. The way that he was like in this Halo-looking helmet, like he's some ultra commando out there, or gonna go get the job done. The dude can't play. He's overthrowing guys that have a step. Our secondary, once Denzel Ward went out, credit to him for trying to play today, by the way. Greg Newsome.
All right. He regressed.
Yes.
First round pick regressed.
Grant Delpit kind of regressed. Don't know what they were.
Look at this defense. Did you have a first overall pick in Miles? You got a fourth overall pick in Ward. You got another first round pick in Newsome. You got a second round pick in Grant Delpit. A second round pick in JOK.
Linebackers, nobody was able to stay healthy this year.
No.
I feel bad for that. Like IR, it was IR after IR after IR. But
got a big trade for John Johnson. He sucked.
But guess what? The defense actually started looking better when they had bigger body linebackers instead of these.
Weird.
I don't know.
I guess the analytics don't understand
football. I don't know. Maybe you need some football people.
I get so annoyed when people are like, "Oh, you don't like analytics. You don't understand them." No, dude, you don't understand football then. Because it's used as a tool. Yes. Is it your main tool and everything you do? Absolutely not.
We brought in a GM that was part of 1 in 31 and kind of had went back.
Oh, there's another dude who's getting off the hook. I could do a whole segment on Andrew Berry. That dude, what has he brought in? Outside of like the players that have been established in the league, what player has he drafted that has been a great player?
As a GM, you make your money on those third, fourth, fifth rounders. That's why the Steelers have good cultures, because those types of players come in. Yes, their first rounders still have an impact. And
like Jedrick Wills, you passed up on Tristan Wirfs, who's an awesome lineman, for Jedrick Wills. That dude has just been getting worse and worse and worse.
That's why drafts can't really be graded until 3 years
Grant
down the road.
Delpit, how's he been?
No.
Newsom, he's been just shaky all year.
Hasn't got a pick.
JOK can't stay healthy. He's a good player, but he's tiny.
Martin Emerson would probably be the best player.
Martin Emerson was a good pick.
But we'll see what he does from year 1 to year 2.
And Donovan Peoples-Jones was the other good pick.
He's the one I would say is the best mid to late round pick that Andrew Berry has had in his 3 drafts, I think it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That's one player. The good teams to the great teams have 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever you want to say. I'm not going down a LeBron path right now, but I think an Andrew Berry conversation should be had, and we'll have that down the road.
Definitely didn't construct the proper team to stop the run whatsoever.
Now, we don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but we are heading towards the playoffs, and I'm sure we'll all kind of keep an eye on the playoffs as it goes. But I need a little break from football right now. But we will
wait to take a break.
There was a lot that happened this week around the league, so I think we'll go around the league, but more news and notes wise, look at a couple of the scores that mattered for the playoffs today. We'll do a quicker element of that. And I'm still going to try to hold true to one New Year's resolution I mentioned. Get out of here by 8:00, even though we haven't done a show in 3 weeks and we have a lot to say.
We got to talk a little Cavs, because me and you saw something amazing.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there, and we're going to try our best to get out by 8:00 tonight. You guys with me on that?
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. All right. So
ready, break.
Yes, we'll head to break. If you need some Voice of the Land gear, though, we'll this next break, we'll let you know where to get that. This is the Voice of the Land, the Big Play Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Land. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in here tonight on the Big Play Network. I'm Kevin Arnold. He is always Positive J. Audio, our producer extraordinaire, is here somewhere. He is our artificial intelligence. Before we go around the league, did want to get to a couple more comments that we've gotten. We did get some replies to the tweet of our show on Twitter, not just in the live feed. So at James Tillman III, JT3, he says, and will forever continue this kind of culture, what we're seeing, this crap that we're seeing, will forever continue should current ownership remain in control. So when we were talking about the Haslam's, like, we wish we could get rid of them, but there's no way to do that. And that's another conversation we're not going to spend a lot of time on, but I agree with everything that JT3 says there. And then
we just throw a like you suck parade every weekend until they leave.
Yeah, in my immature days on Twitter, which immature for me was not throwing like all of the swear words and all that stuff out there. It was just a fellow Big Play teammate or member, Chris McNeil. I had like a little spat back and forth with the parade. Like, I wasn't for it. He was the one creating it.
I know. I was actually talking about, it's like I tried to talk him out of it, and then after, when I seen what he did and how much good it actually caused, was like, dude, you proved me wrong on that for sure.
Right. And now we're in the same network. Let bygones be bygones. We both.
I know Nick Paulus hated it. He gets so mad about that.
I mean,
I'll have to tease him one of these days about it.
Still not fully into it, but not a conversation right now.
Yeah.
Rocco says, let's stop showing up to games. Is that too hard to do? The Haslam's running a clown show out in Berea. True. And when I asked Peter and you, what can fans do? I mean, we know that there's not a lot, because we're not going to be listened to, because every team is going to follow the cliche. When you start listening to the fans, you end up sitting with them. But to a certain extent, I think you need to when we live in a football town. We know what it should look like. We know what crap looks like.
I told you it's going to naturally happen. The Cavs will steal some of their limelight. It's going to start happening. If the Guardians win a World Series, they'll become the number one team in this league or in this town. I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'll put money on it. People are getting really, really sick of losing. But to his point, if let's just say miraculously they don't show up and we just ghost them at a stadium, what are they going to do? What is it going to do? It doesn't do anything. There's still going to be a bunch of dummies doing the job.
No, because money's still coming in. Because anybody that's doing season tickets, if you pay for season tickets, you got to put that in.
I mean, we're going to make a point. I get it, but that's it. They're not going to change anything. It's not going to be like, well, they didn't show up, so we're going to fire this guy and hire this guy. They're not going to listen to us. They're just going to be embarrassed. And maybe they deserve it. That's for sure.
Speaking of the parade, we're at least not losing 0 game. We're not winning 0 games or 1 game a season. But what more has that done? Like, we're still dealing with this crap at the end of seasons. We're still dealing with the crap feeling we have coming out of Pittsburgh. We don't have everyone getting fired right now. To this point, I haven't really been looking at Twitter, so I don't know if anybody has or not. Somebody comment below if there's rumblings of anything like that. But look, you still get the same crap feeling, so not much has changed, and the Haslams are still, while they are trying to win, they aren't learning from their mistakes. People lose their jobs over that. We talked about normal human beings not calling for their jobs. Well, everyday people that have those 9-to-5 blue collar, trying to live in paycheck to paycheck, get a lot more respect from those types of people. They lose their jobs when they make the same mistake over and over and over again. People like the Haslams that have a lot of money, they just keep getting more and more money. But you made this choice to make this trade in the offseason. Unfortunately, this is where it leads you for right now. Hopefully that narrative changes and this trade truly goes down in contract for Deshaun Watson goes down as the best move, because you got the franchise quarterback and he led you to the promised land because he has that ability, he has that skill, but you got a lot of needs, and that's a 7-10 team that's trying to make a huge jump next year with
not
no
a whole
draft
lot
picks.
of salary cap and not a whole lot of. I mean, you got a quarterback's going to start eating a lot of your salary cap.
And he was getting sacked a lot. The offensive line didn't look that great. I mean, you need offensive line, you need linebackers, you need defensive tackles. I'm naming off a bunch of needs already that you don't have a lot of resources to do in one season to make that quick turnaround. So it's going to come down to really developing a culture and building the leadership. I did also want to mention that Jared apparently was our boy from Legal Hand to the Face. He was in West Virginia and had to listen to Pittsburgh radio. Boy, I've heard that.
Me too. And
I'd rather take a bath with the toaster myself.
Well, during the game, I had a lot of people on Facebook and that quote, talking about the refs. There were some calls that were bad.
That face mask call, was that a blatant miss?
Oh,
yeah. If they do call it, let's say, and we're going to get 15 yards, how much you want to bet in that next drive and the next couple plays we're going to get a holding? I seen the fist bump.
Yeah, the fist bump with Tomlin and the ref.
Yeah.
I mean,
they do that kind of. They're cool with the refs all the time. That stuff happens. Now you're nitpicking.
But I know, but it's one of those things where it's like now it's going to, with all the stuff that people have been complaining about, and it just looks bad.
And we didn't even mention that, not necessarily that specific play, but early on, I mean, the Browns were punished for being the team that made a good play and had a penalty right after it. I was like looking at pictures after the game, and I saw one on Cleveland.com that had Deshaun Watson back to pass, and like right underneath his arm is a flag being thrown from behind him. It was like the perfect picture to sum up the game. Undisciplined. That's why what you said, Peter, superior culture beat the Browns today.
It's probably Will's holding.
And it's probably Will's or, James Hudson was in there today instead, but I know Jana said something to her boss that she works out in Ashtabula, so it's closer to Pittsburgh. And I think some of them are Steelers fans where she works, and she told her boss to just watch. Like, I know you haven't watched. I think she told him like something like, I know you haven't watched a lot of Browns games, but when a penalty is called, I bet you count up the amount of times you see 71, 75, 77, or 78. Now Conklin was out; he's 78. 66 filled in. Just replace that for that. Count up how many times. It's just mind-boggling, and that's where the leadership needs to change, or Kevin Stefanski needs to be able to delegate more things, because they're not fixing the little things that lead to records and seasons like this. Quickly around the league, not even getting too much into the playoffs because we don't have as much time. Boy, there were some crap games today, and looking at it, but Dolphins get in with their 11-6 win, even though the Steelers won.
Dude,
Dolphins were ahead
do you know
of
it's
them.
in the playoffs? Jacksonville Jaguars
The
are in the
Jacksonville-
playoffs, and I'm not.
They are division winners. Now, I know the AFC South is a lot worse than the
I don't care.
a lot worse than the
They
AFC
won their
North.
division, and I can't.
But they were down near the part of the league that we were in a lot of the season, and they got better. Coach Doug Peterson made them better. Now, I heard someone say driving in on some of the post-game shows, well, you got to see it back-to-back seasons, because the Browns know what that's like. We had one good season in 2020, but then we haven't backed that up. Good teams back up good seasons. They're not just a flash in the pan. We'll see if the Jaguars do it. We'll see if the Giants have a better season. We'll see if the Dolphins have better seasons and can back that up, for as much as they limped to the finish and still got in to the playoffs. I don't know.
The Dolphins, I think, are going to be in trouble because of Tua's health.
Yeah, that's
dangerous.
people are saying he's going to play next week. Boy, that's a difficult situation to see. But I think the biggest thing around, as we look around the league, continued prayers on behalf of our show and just human decency in general. I think the selflessness, the human decency we have seen throughout the week for Damar Hamlin, who, of course, collapsed, suffered cardiac arrest in the Monday night game, forced that one to be a no contest. That's where all of these playoff scenarios with possible AFC championship on a neutral site. If the Ravens would have won today, there could have been a coin flip if it was Bengals at the 3 seed, Ravens at the 6. I think it's still going to be that, but Ravens will have to travel to Cincinnati because Cincinnati won, so they took care of business. I think it was funny that I forget who it was, but whoever caught a touchdown, their first touchdown, pulled a coin out of his sock, flipped it, and
kicked it like it was.
He's going to get fined, but that's, to them, that's
whatever,
chump change. That's just like a little $10 dent in their pockets. But again, continuing prayers to Damar Hamlin. He is recovering well. He was able, we've seen pictures from him. He was watching the game in his hospital room. Boy, that the amount of money that's been given to his GoFundMe, that has been amazing to see. And when he gets out, if he is able to get out of the hospital, just able to get out of the hospital, I'm not even talking about what his football career looks like right now. If he's able to get out and, progress, get out of the hospital, there's so much stuff sitting outside of that hospital, outside of the Bills facility, around Buffalo, and just on Twitter. I know he's already felt the love and he's tweeted about that. Boy, he's going to feel so much more. And I know it's going to kind of energize him, his family, the Bills community. So continue prayers there, but we got to send as many prayers as we can to former Browns running back Peyton Hillis.
He's a hero. He saved his children's life.
He's in critical condition because he was saving his kids from drowning from a swimming accident. And, of course,
we don't know the details of what happened.
No. And nobody's like kind of giving
any more updates, which is scary, but
yeah, I understand because Damar Hamlin's still kind of at the forefront, but I haven't seen anything, and that's kind of scary. Jeremy Renner, Marvel actor, we talk about Marvel movies on here all the time. Critical condition after his
snowcat
ran over him.
You see, you know what a snowcat is?
Yeah.
These are huge.
So he got hit.
He was clearing a private road.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that he and his neighbor share, so people could get out. And something happened, and from what I read, there's not a lot of details, but something happened, and he got out, and it started to roll, and it rolled over him.
Yeah, he was like trying to get back in.
Yeah,
as it started to roll, and
and he probably slipped. Yeah, but
so scary stuff.
I mean, life's precious and life is very fragile, and that's why I always try to tell people, live life to your fullest, man, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, 2023 has been off to a rough start, but at least especially with Damar Hamlin, the story looks like it's turning towards a good direction. We pray that it continues to do that.
I just pray, and
It seems like that for Jeremy Renner too, but we're praying for all of them.
Did you see what Garrett Bush said about this whole situation, his rant? And it was very well put.
Yeah.
And I pray that like the NFL starts taking care of the players that this stuff happens to better. They really need to.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to get into it. If you want to know more, go watch it.
Was it the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. With him and
Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, a couple other guys.
Yeah. I know Tavis Powell has been on there and some of those other guys. So if you haven't seen it, look it up. Like just search Garrett Bush rant, because I know he even talked to some of the people like on national sports stations about it. So go, if you haven't seen it, go take a look at that, because he speaks a lot of truth in there. And G. Bush has always spoken a lot of truth, and it's nice to see him getting that national recognition, because he puts a lot of good.
You know what I love?
Out there.
He first next show he goes, everyone's saying good for you, good for us. This was about. He said it was about our show and about everyone that could learn from this. Because he didn't make it about himself, and that's very nice when you see people not just focusing on themselves.
And I think the world could take an example out of that, where he is trying to start a conversation. He's one person. He knows he can't affect everything, but he can start a change. He can start a movement by having a conversation. That conversation got started because it got out there. You got to be willing to have some of these conversations. We have difficult conversations on here, trying to start them
Kevin.
For more people to take on those conversations and hopefully leave society better than we find it, honestly. So thoughts and prayers to those guys and anybody that's dealing with medical issues or in critical condition right now, going through hard times. Just prayers, well wishes as much as we can, and we'll try to entertain you as much as we can every Sunday night at 7:00.
We're gonna do it.
It's
gonna be a short segment.
It's gonna be short, but hey, Cavs are in a long season, so I think we can sum them up pretty quickly. So we will touch on the Cavs on the other side of this break, tease some upcoming things. You are watching the Voice of Land, your Browns post-game show, switching over to talk basketball in the final segment right here on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Common sense is such a great virtue.
Yes.
And again,
It'd be nice if it was common.
Yeah. No, we're not going to finish this time when you throw us off like this.
Yes, we are. Common sense says we're going to. We're going to be the exception to the rule that common sense is not common in the world right now. So, talking Cavs, because you guys don't know what we talk about in the breaks, we said we were going to talk about the Cavs. They sit at 25-15 in fourth place in the Eastern Conference. They play tonight at 8:00, coming up in just a few minutes at Phoenix, who they beat at home the other night. Phoenix has to feel like they probably have revenge on their mind coming out.
And I don't know if they have Devin Booker back yet, though. Do they?
I
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. No, I don't.
I hope not.
I'm trying to my apps aren't really.
You can come back tomorrow, not tonight.
I was also trying to get more comments up because we had people actually commenting tonight, and I'm trying to show that we will actually read it if you comment during our show, but it's not happening. But nonetheless,
and we come off a tough loss in Denver, who's a good team. But
yeah, and they can shoot the three like that. So Denver is the type of the Cavs don't have one 3-and-D guy. They've got some guys that maybe they have a wing guy that can play some defense. They may bring someone in and they can hit the three, but they don't have that person that can do both. They don't have one. Denver has several, and they can bring them off the bench. They got a couple guys starting, and they're just knocking down threes. That's why they're, the offensive juggernaut in the NBA right now.
What, 2-time MVP and Joker?
Yeah, and that's
so good. I like watching him play, I gotta admit.
And he does it so slow. It's like him and Doncic in Dallas, they move so slow, but it's so effective, and they get their teammates involved. The passes that they throw, it's kind of mesmerizing, just like we had here when we had LeBron. that's what these kind of guys grew up with. And
You know who's not slow?
Who?
Donovan Mitchell.
oh my God.
Now, this is late. But me and my guy here were there for that 71 points.
That is what I want to touch on with the Cavs.
And that was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, sports wise. Like, I've never seen a single person's performance better than that. That's 7 people in the entire NBA have ever done that, and we've seen it.
But it shouldn't have happened because you had a lane violation.
Well, how many missed calls were before that last 2 minutes, Kevin, that we
Paul
saw?
G. Podesta 2.0 right here.
Oh my God. The last 2 minutes. Why don't you do the whole report of the show and you can see the 28 other missed calls against us?
All right. The NBA 2-minute
Why
report.
you get me all worked up today, man?
I don't know. I'm not even trying to. I'm just like saying things and it's just hitting that. It's just hitting that right button.
Apparently.
Those are some of our best shows though. Those
Yeah.
really are. If you go back and listen, like
Stupid refs.
you can listen. Hey, if you want to, or some people just listen to the audio, so they don't even see our faces. They listen on Google, Spotify, or Apple. You can download our podcast and leave comments and stuff. Did you know that, Jeff?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So, I mean, we were even making fun of, like, we were literally yelling at the refs because we're only 7 rows up, center court.
Oh.
And I think I accused him of betting on the game and stuff.
Yeah. it got bad.
Well, once we realized that they could hear us, Kevin would started getting really loud. And I'm like, you're enjoying this because you know they can hear us. He's like, yes, very much so.
Most people would have like finished that sentence for you as you started it, saying like, "Oh, when we realized the refs could hear us, we got quieter." People were probably thinking,
"No, we got louder."
No, I got much louder. I made sure that they all heard me. 25, 22, and 78, I think it was, or 77. Yeah, you guys suck at refereeing.
Terrible.
But hey, at least you made the mistake on a key play and didn't call the lane violation. But
I'm not gonna. No, it's so funny. What's his name got called for 2 lane violations on 1 free throw, and we got away with it.
Caruso.
Yeah.
And then he fouled out.
And then we're making fun of him on the way
you're
out.
like, no, I can't have the guy that's helping us out.
Yeah, he was our best player for a little bit there. He sucked so bad for him. He just kept turning the ball over and missing shots. I'm like, when he went out, I'm like, no! Dude's got to be like negative 20 right now.
Oh, man, but that was a heck of a game. That was shout
out to my ticket guy. I don't want to reveal who you are because you'll get bugged by everybody.
You know the rules. No
I know.
names, please. That just applies to a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
To finish things out though, yes, it was great to be at that game and see the Cavs get some of those comeback wins, kind of get back on the right track. But now they're back on the road. Are we going to see the same thing where they don't bring the energy? I know that they were resting Donovan Mitchell, and boy, Darius Garland cannot catch a break. His thumb is still hurting.
People stop punching him in the face.
Like, what is it? Is there like a magnet in there? Jana and some other people said they need like
we're just putting the mask on him from now on.
Yeah.
He's going Hamilton from the Pistons days. We're just going to put the mask on him all the time.
But the biggest thing you can say about this team is, yeah, they're young, but they have the experience to learn how to close out games.
There's no quit in this team.
No quit, but you got to do it on the road.
Yeah.
You're 7-11 on the road. You have this great record at home, but you're 7-11 on the road. The great teams, the teams that end up making deep runs in the playoffs, are the ones that are sitting around 500 or a little bit better, maybe a game under, a game above, or just a little bit better than that on the road. You have to go shut up the opposing crowds. That's what LeBron loved to do.
So we just need the team just to improve, unlike the other team we talked about earlier. They didn't improve throughout the season.
Yeah.
We need our team to improve.
But do you have faith that they'll improve?
Yeah, I do.
Peter, do you have faith that the Cavs will be able to improve?
Yes.
Do you have faith that the Guardians will improve on what they did last year? Not necessarily be able to start where they did last year, but improve on those big moments in the regular season. And if they get in the postseason, knowing how to handle those big moments. Do you think they'll improve?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have faith the Browns are going to improve?
No.
That rests my case.
2 out of 3 have a culture.
2 out of 3 have a culture. Culture wins. Good culture wins. Poor culture continues to derail and cause you a nightmare.
Great culture gets out on time.
Yeah, it does. Oh. Well, we just missed the fist bump.
That's all right. It was a no-looker.
The clock still says 7:59. I'm sure it's going to turn to 8 o'clock before I actually get out of here. But we're going to get out with this clock in front of me saying 8 o'clock. I think the best way to wrap it up is good culture wins, bad culture continues these terrible nightmares we have. And hopefully we don't have more nightmares caused when we go to Pittsburgh as a Browns team. That's going to do it for the Voice of the Land and for us being a Browns post-game show. We return hopefully next week to be just a Cleveland sports podcast and possibly some stuff with the crunch coming up as well. So stay tuned over the next couple of weeks. We will talk about it all right here on the Voice of the Land for Always Positive. Jay, for Peter Tellep, I'm Kevin. I'm reminding all you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all, 3,000. We send prayers and well wishes to everyone dealing with something right now.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
And live life, all gas, no brakes. We will talk to you next time right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network. See ya
At 8 o'clock.